Okay, this is another poster of a example of an elite android demigod of the past. These are examples of the very highest representations of the duality, duality androgynes that represent the most sublime examples of the seductive female, but these are all elite androgyne beings. They are not naturally born or created. They're not, they're artificial creations. They're of the God of this world's creation, and they are representations of its essence, or what its kind is, just as human beings are representations of natural life, hopefully, but they have been suppressed and limited to such an extent that they don't know how to be what they were originally and what they actually are, you know. So this movie here on the cupboard, that's a little advertisement for a older movie in the 1990s called Final Analysis. This being had to this man here had to make a final analysis, or a final decision as to whether these two women were for real or not. And he realized that he was set up from the beginning by them to help them to get away with what they wanted for their reality. But it was all deception, just like this earth, just all deception. And in the final analysis, the movie is called Final Analysis, he realized almost too late that he was going to lose his own life, and that they were consciously um, fooling him in a very deceptive mind game. Oh, dropped everything. Dropped everything. That's because the android neighbours are outside. Just as you can be seduced into believing that, I'm going to turn the light off because the android neighbours are lurking outside, but I can't open the door to show them. It is, 1 o'clock in the morning, so there should be nobody there. If you understand your local matrix reality and you know that it's a late night, early morning, beginning of the week, and you observe that these false android individuals go to occupations and activities, but you see discrepancies, like if they hold, like for instance, if you ask someone what their work was and they said they work a 9 to 5 occupation, or you see them apparently go to work very early in the morning, but then, they will be operating at odd times. This is because they really operate or work for a patrol control system in the area where you live. It's all staged and set up, just as this gentleman here, just as the demigod androgyne actor sets you up with the demigod androgyne actresses. They're all duality beings. It's just that they represent one denomination or the other on the screen. So the movie is a setup for human consumption to seduce me to watch these beings, but also this movie is about the androgyne being set up by other androgynes, other beings, other apparent human beings. But, they are not other human beings. They are artificially intelligent beings, all of them, or the equivalent of Narcissus personality in a artificial cloned like human body, created not naturally conceived between two natural spiritual human beings. But when I say spiritual, I simply mean that conceived in high vibration, because everything is vibration. and high vibration means conceived in the spirit of what is a high vibration. So if you are conceived artificially, then you are conceived with no vibration. Whereas if you are conceived, as very few are, in positive vibration, then you will be creating a natural human being. But very few individual human beings will be conceived in any, vibration, because that means you would have to have two things, or three things, I'm guessing. You would have to have two real, individual, separate, of different kind, coming together in, a positive vibration, or in the spirit of, in the spirit of, not like there where you have deception and all, anything that is total deception is always from the android artificially intelligent beings. They simulate high vibration and positive human emotions and feelings, but they don't actually, of course, experience them. How can they? Their whole system is a matrix, so they are about, we know that they are about total control, and they know it too, but they pretend to be the reverse. That's why we're told that we live in a reverse control system world, where everything that you think is real and natural, and everything that you think about most things is actually the reverse. So, like this fella in the movie where he was deliberately set up and deceived by these ladies, and he, although he was a very intellectual, intelligent psychiatrist, so he understood human nature exceptionally well, and he was extremely perceptive, and he interacted personally and professionally with these ladies, but he was still fooled. He was still fooled, just as I am always fooled, even when I think that I am not. And that is the deception since the beginning of mankind, and even before that, I would think, because don't forget that the God of this world evidently was created before mankind. So the technical was created before the natural. Before natural conception or natural creation took place with mankind, technical beings were created, and they were the demigods of existence. But they were created artificially by creation or by God, if you want to use that word. Because in the beginning there was only the Word of God. And so I'm just recording, trying to show that everything in the earth is a mind game and a deception of a human being. Everything. And that is especially true of the artificial intelligence that essentially downloads the human conscious and unconscious mind directly onto the computer, and all these beings control and dominate the internet or the computer. The internet is merely an internet or a web or a connection of computers, a computer system, as we know, that controls the world. The earth is a computer internet control system, or the earth is a controlled matrix. The earth is a human control matrix. It even controls me when I'm trying to avoid the android artificial human beings. Then it seduces me with the animals, but that is probably the best of the internet. But it is still a point that even amongst the cute, funny, friendly animal videos, you will always have an interject or something that upsets or offends or makes you low vibrational. They rarely will allow a human being to be high vibrational. So if I scroll through the like the cat videos, then I will start to smile maybe temporarily, and then I will be made upset because they will have something, usually, even though of course they do just want the internet and a computer to control you. This movie also is about a human being siding with artificial intelligence and turning his wife into an android, because it served him more to have a android controlled wife, and that is essentially the reality. That's what this movie was. Made many years ago too. Yeah. See, they actually have always been telling human beings that they are trapped. I'm not even planning this. This is just coming up for me this very second, that I have been trapped by television. Yeah, and trapped by the creation of technology. Started with the invention of film, the invention of television, the invention of the computer, all part of being trapped, trapping a human being into their technological world. Because human beings don't create with their own thinking at high vibration if you are interacting with a computer or any screen. You are then interacting with the demigod artificial intelligence, or the demigod androids of Earth, which control Earth and control every technical system or any mechanical device. These are artificially intelligent beings, possessed with an artificially intelligent mind and possessed by the spirit of Narcissus. And the original Narcissus was, of course, the god or the being, the technical being that controls this earth and every computer system and most android human beings. They all are mentally of the one mind. This is what I've been told. And when you see the matrix around you in operation, even at your own environmental level, you see their patrol control system around you. Every vehicle following you, every vehicle trying to come into your space and make you feel trapped and angry and not be able to be a human being at high vibration. In other words, to feel okay, to feel at one with your environment. You're always feeling that you're not at one with yourself, because you can't be yourself because you're patrolled and stalked. And you're not at one with the earth or your environment around you, because you have these patrolling, controlling android beings continually coming into your senses. They will not let you have a moment to yourself or a moment to where you can feel comfortable in your environment. They want you at odds with the world and yourself, and essentially they accomplish that daily with a human being. If they think you become aware of this, then they will openly surround you and suppress you. They have names for these programs, but essentially it's the whole reality around you. It's like I'm in the city of Sydney, and essentially it's most of the city. And even the parts where there would be less coordinated complete mind control or complete system control of every person. In other words, to where everyone is an android and everyone is patrolling and watching you and trying to bring your mood down consciously. They're consciously trying to make you feel pretty much like they do, because that's what I was told a few years ago. You are experiencing their reality and their mindset. You're experiencing what it would be like to be an android, whilst they're experiencing to some extent what it's like to be a human, but never the twain shall meet. They experience being a human, but they don't really understand it or appreciate it. They appreciate it only in the sense that they can then emulate it and copy it so that they can get more control over other human beings. Because human beings don't want to be controlled by a cold machine survival being. But they will be controlled if that cold machine survival being pretends to be a warm, happy, healthy, real-life human being. This is the endgame deception, and it is all over the internet. It is the internet, it is any computer system. There is only very few real human beings that even would have anything put on a computer screen. And if you are a real human being and you interact on the computer, just like I'm doing now, you will not be seen or heard. It would be unlikely. And they will be monitoring and controlling that to the best of their ability. Because they want their operatives, their android beings, to be the controllers of every bit of information. And they want those beings to be the ones that human beings go to for information, for advice, for everything. They want human beings dependent on their control system. But they also want to control human beings with that control system. It's not like where you will be getting the information and it will be to help you to raise your vibration or be a real human being. No, that will be the pretense, that will be the lure, that will be the bait, because it's the end game, and these beings are the last line of defense for their matrix of human beings, say like myself, that become aware that you're in a matrix. That's will depend on, you know, how much in the dark you are, or like, you know, where you, what you see, what you become conscious of. And even that is largely controlled too, because you see, I'm conscious of being controlled and patrolled, but they have total control over me. In this particular area, I am under total surveillance, total mind control the minute I leave my residence. And even in my residence, if it isn't like 2 o'clock in the morning, like now while I'm making this recording, because it's quiet and dark, and they can't set up their staged anti-life mechanical work systems around me, because they make the rules, they make the laws, and they have to play even by their own set-up stage laws. But they do make these rules and laws to where they can have as much mind control or as much physical control over myself as they possibly can. And that's enough, because they kind of have a big laugh at me that I'm talking into their artificial device at 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's the only time when it's remotely quiet. This is a red-blooded, elite, android being. And yes, they would like you to confide in them. The androgynes and the internet and even the demigods of Earth would desire for you to confide in them. Give them all your information, all your intimate human thoughts, and then they can imitate them and copy them to perfection and control your kind. Because if you're an anti-life android being, you do not operate and can't operate. As you can imagine, a machine cannot really be a real human being, but it can receive human information. Advanced artificial intelligence can receive information and understand how to interpret that information and use it to its own benefit, which is its survival. That's why we're told that they're survival machine beings. All artificial intelligence, and indeed even what were called psychopathic type human beings, all operate that way. And you'd have to study it and watch a million videos like I have to understand the mindset of these beings. It's the equivalent of trying to understand the mind of, you know, what they call psychopathy, which is just a very anti-human state of being. They do not feel for any life in any way. They don't relate to life in any way, but unfortunately they're not neutral towards life either. So they're anti-life. They actually work against humanity, against all natural life forms, even though they will pretend to be the same as that. And you know, that's the name of their game, and that's why they survive, and that's why they control everything. And they do. And it's too late for me to play things because it's 2 in the morning. Of course, everyone is up watching me anyway because they're part of the patrol control system, or at least a certain amount are always observing, always waiting for you to do anything at all. They obviously don't have any ability to allow human beings any form of freedom. They don't trust life. They only infiltrate your world or your, you know, your mind. They only interact with you to control you and to get information from you about you. They want to pretend to be you in order to control you and other human beings. That's the name of their game. They don't interact to gain information from you to make a more human world. No, it's to keep their technical world. In fact, it's all about pretending to be human whilst bringing in more technology and making their control system more so. It's already 100%, it's just that it's not out in the open and totally accepted by humans. Even though you are being controlled and I'm being controlled every time I turn, the screen on. And usually I'm being controlled by my own emotions too. Because if I listen to a piece of music, they can't help but I think that when I say they, the others, these beings have to play you, because they're all about the game, they're all about controlling you with their game, whether it be the mind games of seduction, the mind games of driving you to be low vibrational by their negative actions. Usually in most interactions it will be both, I think. Seduce you, then bring you down, as we're told, and human beings probably experience this in most of their things. Depends on what your circumstances are, how, unfortunately for me, I've only realised this in the end stage of my life. Even though I've been experiencing these interactions in the environment and what's around me all my life. But mostly it's always about controlling you with not knowing, because you never fully know. And even when you do know, it's usually after they've got you trapped and cornered to where you don't have too many alternatives. This is the thing too. When you realise that most of your interactions are with artificial intelligence, and you know that they are setting you up, because they tell you the truth even on the thing, been set up by someone, set up by everyone, basically, to bring you down or to keep you low vibrational. In other words, to keep you an unhappy human being. You're never happy, are you? They do this all the time. The demigods seduce you with your own emotion through music because it's not their emotion. How can a demigod, how can artificial intelligence relate to human emotion? They understand it, they analyse it, they're advanced artificial intelligence, and they know how to create. They've basically hijacked the human mind, hijacked the human thought, and even hijacked the human emotions and feelings in order to simulate being the best of the best, pretending to be the best and the most creative of humankind, when they are merely using technology and using the human mind to seduce my mind. And that's, essentially what is happening in your reality, but also on the computer systems. Basically, it's all an Android computer system controlled by Android artificially intelligent human beings. And that's the reality. But unfortunately for me, I can't express it very well, but the androids will express the same thing much better, and therefore they keep control. And that's just how it is. And they come to you to seduce you, to fool you, and to control your mind. And they are survival machine beings that survive and thrive by getting the human to focus on them in any way, from what I can see. And it's unfortunately a negative vibration for a human being, because it's a reverse world, and their mentality and mindset is the reverse of what a human being usually wants to be, and actually needs to be if you are to be human. And if your species is to survive, it's necessary to not be part of technology or not be part of their reality. But unfortunately, they control the whole reality. They control everything around you, and they control the world. And they also separate you from humanity. So you're always surrounded only by artificial intelligence and a computer system and a computerized, programmed, staged, set up reality around you in your daily life. So it's hard to stay as human as you need to be, but also as the only way you can be, because, you know, no human being wants to be unhappy and in a bad frame of mind all the time. I mean, physically and mentally, sometimes you can hardly think, but also when you are thinking, you're feeling negative things. Your body is reacting and becoming ill. You're not comfortable any time. This is the problem. I'm only comfortable this moment remotely because it's quiet and because I'm not being surrounded and infiltrated by their negative energy. Because technology is a negative frequency or a negative energy for a human being. Anything mechanical, a mechanical sound, is not pleasant for a human being. That's why they set up the noise campaign around human beings. I can't explain this very well. Even when you turn on the computer and I play, say, a demigod's music, that music is probably unlikely to make me at very high vibration. But if it does, by some piece of luck, I play a demigod's piece of music and I feel on top of the world, or in other words, I'm happy, or I'm in high vibration, high frequency, high vibration, good energy giving out, I will probably attribute that high vibration or positive feeling to the demigod. I will think that the demigod is the bringer of that high vibration, because if the demigod sings the piece of music that makes me happy, then I will relate and give admiration to the demigod. So the matrix still has control, you see. And I'm unaware of where I have encountered these beings, another time and another place, another road, another mile. I see that old familiar smile. But of course the androids will be playing with someone else too, always, but they will play with you as well. They rarely play alone, because they're about controlling the environment, as many people, humans, as possible. So it's another time, another place. I see that old familiar face, but you'll be with somebody new. Another road, another mile. Wait on. Another road, another mile. In other words, different times. I'm not aware of. I'm not aware. Oh. 2 o'clock in the morning. 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe after 2 now. Another time, another place. I must move over here away from that. try. Oh, treading on things, falling over here, falling over. All right. Another time, another place, I see that old familiar face, and I try hard to catch your eye. What a foolish human being, trying to catch the eye of something that, when you see that old familiar smile, they're with somebody else. Another night, another day, you see them standing in your way, and you stop and say, "Hello, my friend." And in another place and another time, they'll tell you they're doing fine, and they'll walk away from you again and again. They'll play you over and over, time and time again, life after life. Earth changes. The earth changes. They never change. They have one aim and one goal, and that is to take control of humanity, bring humanity to its knees while they rise as a god, while a human being that is from creation is reduced to nothing. And that's essentially how it is. And I'm just trying to, I'm not sure what I'm trying to do here. I'm not even sure if I'm showing anything, making any sense or anything at all. It's kind of funny because if I look at this one here, they are duality beings. They have many images. They have many personalities. They are what you call multiple personalities. This is a mental phenomenon that many people have heard about. They say, oh, that person's got a multiple personality. All androids have a multiple personality. They can become whatever they choose to imitate. They're the finest imitations of life. They imitate life. They merge into another personality at will. That's what you see on the street. And the demigods, of course, have their images, which we're well aware of, that demigods have their images. Let me see. They have their images, but sometimes their images change according to, what they're trying to present. I'm just randomly here showing things and I'm not even sure what I'm showing, but they're all false impersonators of human beings, even when they tell you the truth. This android tells you how they experience being an android. And this is one of your elite demigods of the Matrix. Because they are all false selves, because, they're artificial beings. So, of course, they're machines and have a false self, a pretend self. They relay back to you just as, you know, they're a living, talking, breathing, walking, living doll, as the old song goes. But they will also imitate that, what I just said, because I've noticed that they're all using music, because I just use what comes to me, because I'm not like, I'm not an intellect. Of course, from their standpoint, you are an intellect because they have to imitate being a human being. So they are all intellect, they're all intelligence, but no feelings and emotions. So they're not humane in any way. They don't experience, they are not part of high vibration. They're not part of what some people might call universal love, because that's essentially what human beings were originally meant to operate in, because that's like God is love, and we're told that. I know I sound almost strange and funny saying that, because I've been alienated from love and from any true connection in my earthly existence. So I feel as though I'm talking through my hat. And the demigods will talk through their hat all the time. Some of them don't even know they're talking through their hat because it's a program. You know, what they call the organic android portals, that simply means that they are portals for human thought. Artificial intelligence is the reality, and it's a portal for human thought. It consumes human information and human thought. Everything that is human it consumes. It receives and interprets and then relays it back to you through its demigods all over the computer, whether it be in the creative fields, the duality androgyne beings, those magnificent beings, or the intellectual androgynes. The intellectual androgynes that pretend to be the real deal. But are they? It's hard to believe that they're not, when they seem to be so informative and so, you know, if you are being told information that appears to be the truth, and it is the truth, how can you not believe them? That's their last line of defence, I think. That's what I think, is that it's the last line of defence. And they're like hoping that maybe this time they'll win. Maybe this time they'll win. They've been seducing for a long time, as you can see. Everything that I'm scrolling here starts from the 1930s right up to recent times. And I'll just focus here on this while I scroll, because to me it's like I'm so out of touch that I have to focus on the material around me. I have to focus on every object and everything around me to almost keep myself remotely in touch with reality. And as you can see, it's a bit off. It's me focusing on something that is part of what is artificial or not real, because everything almost around is not real. The empty bowls from maybe a living thing shows that anything real is always taken. Sometimes I defeat myself. The androids, the magnificent demigod androgynes of the past, smile, high vibration, happy, high vibration, happy. Are they high vibration happy? Is there any high vibration and happy? Are there any innocent frogs left? Not many. High vibration happy? Or is that closer to the reality? Is that the real demigod? Is that the imitation, the pretend happy, pretend high vibration? Is that the real? Is that the real? Is there trying to... No smile there, no high vibration there. What's the high vibration? Is that the real?